Yeah.
So, my name is Luna. I'm a producer-designer for Boom Zap Entertainment, which also happens to be one of the sponsors. And today I'm going to talk about working from home, which is how our company is set up, and what it really means to work from home, because we're a virtual office. So just to introduce who Boom Zap is, or who we are a Southeast Asian indie game studio. We have developers in the Philippines, Japan, Malaysia, and Singapore. And we have released about 8 PC titles in the past 5 years, all without ever renting office space, without having face-to-face meetings, and this is what we intend to do for the next couple of years. So usually this is the reaction that I get when I say what I do. They're like, you work from home? Really? You know, you must not get any work done. You must be in bed all the time. And I just want to clarify to you guys what it means to have a virtual office and how to make games from home. So first, I think it's important for us to remove the idea that you have to be in an office to make a game. Right now, it's not true. People used to make games in their bedrooms, in garages. You can do everything online now. So it doesn't mean that you can only make great ideas collectively inside a cubicle. So when we realized that, we said, okay, we're never going to rent office space because we don't need it. And then we thought, well, maybe then if you don't have to work from an office, then maybe we don't have to be 9 to 5, because you could make games at night or on weekends if you wanted. Maybe you're not a morning person. It doesn't follow that great ideas only happen from 9 to 5, especially if you're creative and you have your own, work thing going on, your own work schedule. So we follow this is fast. We follow what we call a results-only work environment. And the thesis is you can do anything you want, anytime you want, as long as the work gets done. And people kind of forget the second part. They think, oh wow, party all the time. No, games don't make themselves. So what you need first is obviously, you need the internet. This is very important to Boom Zap. You need to be online when you're working. We have Windows Live. We put all our stuff on Basecamp. We do conferences in Skype. And this is hard if you're in the Philippines. You don't have internet all the time. If there's a storm, we all have to run to a coffee shop or to a friend's house if you need to be online for something. And it doesn't mean that you work from home all the time as well. That's my home office setup. This is where I work from a coffee shop in Alabama. What? And I get to work while I travel, so I'm going to go to the US for 3 months and I don't have to take a leave of absence because I'm going to be working from anywhere. So that's, this is fast. Okay, so we can also work anytime, so it means personally I don't set my alarm clock in the morning. Which is great. I used to work in a corporate office. You have to drive to Makati. You know how that's like. So we don't have to do that, which is very nice. But this is all part of the perks, right? So we can take days off anytime. So if you're sick, we just say go, get better. If it takes you a week, fine, just get well. We don't count leaves. We don't count vacation leaves. I was able to go to the beach at the middle of the week for 4 days, and that's fine as long as you finish your work before you leave. So we don't count vacation leaves either. But yeah, people say, well, you must not get any work done. I have to say balls, because okay, I'm gonna slow down. Balls. Because the truth is, we have milestones, we have publishers. Everyone who's a game developer in this room knows that making games is really hard work. And the honest truth is, making games virtually is harder. You don't have an office, you can't look to your left and right, you can't check if people are doing the right work. It's hard because you let people live your life. At the same time, there's a deadline and you have to assume that everybody is smart enough to reach that deadline on their own. So what we do in Boom Zap is first we have what we call common hours. We are usually online at about 10 to 4. And if you're online, it doesn't mean you're working. So sometimes, we take a nap, we take long lunches or whatever. But in general, we're online in the middle of the day. And we also tell each other if we're going to be offline, because that's important. Like if it's 10 a.m. and people say, where's Luna? We're supposed to have a meeting. So the day before, I always say, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to be offline for something. I'll be back at 12 or 1. So we all do this. This is a Basecamp screenshot, by the way. So we do this just so the team knows where we are. You also need to have a very motivated team, because honestly, if you put people in their bedrooms, it doesn't really mean that they're going to work, because it's so lazy. There's TV. So it has to be people who are really self-motivated, who can work without distractions, even with their TV and Facebook and it's the weekend or whatever. This is fast. Okay. We also need to be able to communicate because again, you don't know if people are doing the right thing. So you have to be able to give daily reports. Artists take screenshots of their work and we all comment immediately. We do daily builds and that's a law. We cannot break the daily build rule. And lastly, your work has to be really good. So it doesn't mean that, oh, I'm self-motivated. I work, 8 hours a day if I want to. But if you put in crappy work, you're fired. And our basis of crappy work is whatever gets into the build. If you break the build, expect a lot of yelling, which we do. Slow down.
Virtual.
Okay, so this is a real life change for me. I know people think it's all fun and games. But last year, one of my parents was in the hospital for 8 months. I was able to not quit my job. I worked from the hospital. I was able to be there with my family and keep my job and get paid. And it was really amazing. So we have developers who are parents and they get to take care of their kids while they work from home. It's basically a high freedom, high responsibility job. So the next time that somebody asks me, you work from home, really? I say, really, it's tough. And so it's not for everyone. But if you do get this kind of balance, it's a real wonderful life change and I can't imagine myself going back to the corporate grind. Whew, all right.